Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the top 5 best guns to be using right now in Modern Warfare 2 Season 5. Now, if any of these best class ups I'm about to give you help you out in any sort of way, do me a solid by subscribing to the channel with all those notifications on so you don't miss out on future content, and click that thumbs up button. Without further ado, man, let's hop into the first class setup. We're starting off with my personal favorite long-range weapon, the TAC-56. So what you're going to want to throw on is the Demo Clean Shot grip. We get sprint to fire speed with this, so the weapon comes up quicker after sprinting. We get EDS speed, so we can be a lot more quick and snappy with our shots. We increase our magazine size, so we can take out multiple enemies without having to reload. You could do 60 if you want. I think it's a little OD. It slows your weapon down quite a bit. I think 40 is more than enough. I then throw in the high velocity ammunition. It increases your bullet velocity, so this really helps you out at longer range engagements. Not only that, it also makes the weapon fire a lot more quickly, so that leads to a faster time to kill. I then throw on the X10 Grave Digger Underbarrel, and with this, I get a huge increase in accuracy and recoil control, so it just reduces the bounce of the weapon. It makes this thing so much more of a laser beam, and it helps me land a lot more of my shots. Same goes for the muzzle. We threw on the Cronin OP44. We get vertical and horizontal recoil control. And when you have this muzzle paired with their underbarrel, man, literally zero recoil. And then as far as goes for the tunings, starting with the rear grip, I tuned it for what I threw the attachment on for, sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. The tuning on the ammunition, damage range and bullet velocity, so this heavily favors our range and accuracy. The tuning on the underbarrel, we did recoil stabilization, and then I did aim walking speed. I always find myself strafing back and forth, which is literally aim walking speed. So I literally just tuned it for that because it's something I'm constantly doing. And then the tuning on the muzzle, I did recoil stabilization and recoil control, which heavily favor the recoil control, as you can see in the tuning chart. If we quickly take this thing to the firing range, little speed test, ADS speed, nice and quick. It's not slow whatsoever. Accuracy, zero recoil, and the TTK as well, quick. I mean, it covers all 3 things in a best class setup, and that's why this is my favorite weapon in the entire game. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the Vel 46, which actually received a buff. They increased the damage on this thing, so it kills a lot more quickly. This is definitely worth checking out. At the time of me recording this, I do not have gameplay up on this weapon, but that will do all the talking for me. I don't really need to say much about it. So make sure you guys are subscribed with those notifications on so you don't miss out on some gameplay with this Vel build I'm about to give you. So starting off, we threw on the 50 round magazine. The base is 40, which honestly, you could probably get away with, but this thing does have a high fire rate. So I threw on the extra 10 shots, and that definitely makes a big difference. It allows me to take out multiple enemies without having to reload, very similar with the 40 round magazine on my TAC-56. I then threw on the overpressured ammunition. So basically, anytime I fire a bullet at an enemy, they get some really bad flinch. The weapon kind of skyrockets, they lose aim and everything. So if you land the first shot, I mean, the gunfight's pretty much over, all because of this ammunition. Super overlooked in my opinion. Not many people are using ammunitions, and you gotta take advantage of them. I then threw on the Merc 4 grip, which gives me a huge increase in accuracy and recoil control. So this is just going to help me land a lot more of my shots. And same with the Lockshot KT-85 muzzle, vertical and horizontal recoil control. Again, man, when you have a very good muzzle paired with a very good underbarrel, the weapon's just not going to move. There's going to be no bounce whatsoever. And then finally, we didn't really have any mobility attachments on, so that's why I threw in the Demo RXT stock. And this gives me all of the mobility I really need. I got sprint speed, so I can get around the map a lot more quickly, get in the enemy's faces. That'll get me a lot more kills. And then ADS speed, man. I want to be quick and snappy. I want to get that first bullet off because of my ammunition type. So that's all I really needed when it comes to mobility, and it ended up working out. Let's get into the tunes real quick. Starting with the ammunition, I did damage range and bullet velocity. It just makes the weapon so much stronger, and as you can see on the tuning chart, it heavily favors the damage, which is insane because, again, it got a damage buff. So this just makes it even stronger. For the underbarrel tunings, I did hip walking speed and EDS speed. Now, the 2 things that I tuned for are actually the only 2 things that were the cons of putting on the Merc 4 grip. And honestly, the pros did such a good job of keeping my weapon accurate. I'm like, you know what? Let's just tune for the cons so it doesn't severely impact my weapon as much as it would if I didn't tune it for that. I then tuned the muzzle for recoil stabilization and recoil control, just fully dedicating this attachment to making my weapon as accurate as possible. And then the tuning on the stock, I did aim walking steadiness and aim walking speed. So when I'm strafing, my weapon is a lot more steady, so I'm landing more shots, and I'm quicker, so the enemies are missing more of their shots. Let's quickly take this thing to the firing range. Again, we'll test the 3 things you need to know most. Mobility, boom, look at that. ADS, not slow whatsoever. Recoil control, the thing didn't move whatsoever. TTK at a medium range here. Pretty quick, 0 recoil control. Literally the best Vel 46 class setup you could possibly ask for. Next, we have what many consider to be the best SMG in Modern Warfare 2, the VazNav 9K. Let me know in the comments what you think is the best SMG. But with this, man, with the right attachments, the mobility is insane. You can make some crazy plays. It has absolutely 0 recoil. I'm pretty sure it's like the most accurate SMG in the game. And the TTK you can get out of this is also ridiculous. So let me give you guys the best VazNav 9K class setup in MW2. Starting off, we have the True Tac Grip. Sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed. I told you what you get out of those attachments when we went over the TAC 56. So you guys know why I threw that one on. We increased the magazine size. The base is 30. The fire rate, it's not like insanely crazy, but 30 is just not enough, man. So we went with the 45 round magazine. Once again, just allows us to take out multiple enemies without having to reload, get some crazy clips, crazy feeds and whatnot. I then throw on the Edge 47 grip for my underbarrel. So with this, I'm only losing on an aim down sight speed, which is okay, because in a future attachment, we're gonna get that back. But with this, I get aiming, idle stability, and recoil stabilization. So it just makes the weapon, you know, a lot more accurate, helps me land more shots. And then for my muzzle, I have the Spiral V3.5 flash hider, and I get recoil control out of this thing. And then finally, I have on the Broadside FCT stock. This is my only mobility attachment. But as you guys can see on the pros, I get aim down sight speed, which is what I lose out on for my magazine. I think I lose out on it in my muzzle and my underbarrel. So this was a necessity to have on. I also get aiming stability, so I'm still getting, you know, my accuracy in there, and sprint speed, so I can get around the map a lot more quickly and just get more kills. And then as far as goes for the tuning, starting with the rear grip, I tuned it for the pros, sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed. I then tuned the underbarrel for recoil stabilization and aim walking speed. The aiming idle stability isn't too important to me, as you can see throughout some of these class setups, because I'm not sitting there aiming. I'm always strafing, I'm moving, I'm always moving. So aiming idle stability isn't too relevant for me personally. So that's why you guys see these tunes are kind of off. Like, wait, why didn't you just tune it for that? It's because I don't really use it to my advantage. Unlike aim walking speed, again, I'm always strafing, so that's why I tuned it for that. The tuning on the muzzle, recoil smoothness and gun kick control, so just heavily favoring that recoil control, fully dedicating this attachment to my weapon accuracy. And then the tuning on the stock, I slightly tuned it for aim walking steadiness, and then the bottom slider, aim walking speed. Like I said, they go hand in hand, just like we talked about on our Vel 46 build. We could take this to the firing range and test it in the 3 most important, I guess, tiers. Good sprint speed, good ADS speed, recoil control, laser, TTK. Does the damage, man. You still have more than half a magazine to take out another enemy. The VazNav 9K, man, it's remained to be a top tier SMG throughout the entirety of MW2's life cycle. Now, straying away from the SMGs, we're gonna be taking a look at the ISO Hemlock for our 4th class setup. This is just a proper laser beam when it comes to long range weapons. I think this is the easiest weapon in the entire game to use. And I think this build I'm about to give you fits anyone's playstyle, no matter who you are or how you play. So the setup, starting off, we have the X10 grip, sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed. It's an attachment you see me throwing on all my setups. I have the 45 round magazine on, the base is 30. If you're using this at long range, you're gonna miss a few shots, you know, so you gotta have the larger magazine on. I then threw on the Commando foregrip, you know, very, very standard. You get aiming idle stability, recoil stabilization, so it increases your accuracy and recoil control. Now, I could have easily thrown on, you know, the F-Tech Ripper, the XN Gravedigger. This is just a little OD. The weapon's already accurate. You can keep it minimal, you know, keep those cons and, you know, the things you're gonna lose to a minimal as well. So that's why I did the Commando foregrip. I then throw on the Fielder T50 barrel. This is the largest barrel you can throw on it, and it makes the biggest impact when it comes to damage range and bullet velocity. And you need this because they have nerfed the ISO Hemlock quite a bit in the past, And they did nerf the range, damage range, all that type of good stuff on it. So to kind of revert it to how it was before, you need this barrel on it. And it just makes it a beast, to say the least, at longer range gunfights. And then the iron sights are abysmal. So throw on whatever optic you feel most comfortable with. Me personally, the Slimline Pro's always been my favorite, so I continuously use it. And then for the tunings, for my rear grip, I did recoil steadiness and then sprint to fire speed. I didn't find the aim down sight speed to be super bad, so I'm like, you know what, I'll tune it for the recoil steadiness. I'll be okay. The tuning on the underbarrel, I did recoil stabilization, and then as you see on this one, I tuned it for aiming idle stability, because this is an AR that is very accurate. I can kind of stand still a little bit more, and if I tune it for this, I mean, it's not going to move whatsoever. So that's why I tune it for that. And as you can see in the tuning chart, heavily favors the accuracy. For my barrel, I did recoil steadiness and damage range. And as you can see on the chart there, it heavily favors accuracy, range, and damage, which all kind of work together there. At longer ranges, my weapon's going to be accurate and it's going to deal more damage, so it's going to take less bullets to kill. I mean, that's what makes this thing a top 5 worthy weapon. And then the tuning on the optic, I did aim down sight speed. Since I didn't tune it for aim down sight speed here, I did recoil steadiness. I got it back on the optic by tuning it for that. Head of the firing range, man, and you're going to see, I mean, mobility, pretty good. You get some good sprint speed. ADS speed. Naturally, it's an AR. It'll be a little bit slower, but what really excels at is right here. I mean, I'm not even holding down on my right stick. The thing just doesn't move at all. Again, anyone could use this and find so much success with it. And then for our 5th and final class setup, we have the ISO 45. Now, kind of save the best for last. I think this is the #1 SMG in the entire game. If you want to know why I think that, I have some gameplay that you guys could check out after this video, and that will really do the talking for me. Now, let's just get into this class setup. Starting off, I have the 45 round magazine. The base is 30. Again, not enough. The fire rate on this, it's kind of high, so you're going to need those extra 15 shots so you could take out more than one enemy. I have the Merc foregrip on, just like I threw on my Vel 46. It just helps with your accuracy and recoil control, makes it a proper laser beam. For my barrel, I have the 16-inch XLB. Now, this does slow down the weapon quite a bit, but when it comes to medium range engagement, I mean, if you're landing your shots, you could easily outgun some assault rifles, which is insane to say when it comes to an SMG like this. I mean, you get sound suppression, so it's like having a muzzle on, but for free on your barrel. You get the bullet velocity and damage range. It makes this thing a proper powerhouse of a weapon, and then you get recoil control. So that'll help you land a lot more of your shots at those longer ranges. Overall, I think it's like a must-have attachment on the ISO. I then throw on an optic, and I decided to throw on the Slimline Pro. The iron sights aren't bad. They're not everyone's cup of tea, but it's definitely a lot easier to see out of an optic like this one. And then my final attachment is the Demo Fade Tac stock, which might be an underrated attachment to throw on it. I threw this on because I get sprint speed, so once again, it helps me get around the map a little bit more easily. And then I get aim walking speed, so once again, just strafing back and forth. It's just going to make it so much more challenging for the enemies to land shots on me. And then for the tuning, starting with the underbarrel, hip walking speed, aim down sight speed. Again, I just want to lessen the cons that this gave me. That's what we did there. Tuning on the barrel, recoil steadiness and damage range. What this attachment mainly specializes in is what we tuned it for. For the optic, we tuned it for aim down sight speed. The bottom slider I left alone. And then the tuning on the stock, aim walking steadiness, aim walking speed. I don't really need to say much after that because you've seen it before. So sprint speed, yeah, not bad whatsoever. A little bit slower since we have this barrel on it. ADS speed, yeah, it may be a little bit slower, but what it really specializes in, for being an SMG, man, first off, this strafe speed is ridiculous. You don't really get this too often when it comes to SMGs in this game. Little bit of recoil, manageable, but here, this is the real test, is right here at this medium range. We don't really care about this guy. We need something like this to be successful. So we're strafing quick. And we're looking pretty accurate, man. It got that speed, it may not look like it kills too quick, but dude, when you're strafing like this, it just looks so much crazier on the enemy screens. And it makes it way more challenging for them to land shots on you. This build I've been using in multiplayer and Warzone, and it's been working like magic. And then when it comes to the rest of my class setups, I like to throw on like a Mac 10 build. I don't even think these attachments are like tuned or anything like that. I run around with this thing. I like to have stun grenades, thumbtacks, and then here's my perk package I use on every single one of these 5 weapons I just gave you. We got double time. Again, helps me get around the map a lot more quickly. That's how I'm able to get a lot more kills. Scavenger, so I can use my own weapon. Fast hands, I could reload a lot more quicker and just do a lot more every just gunfight activities a lot faster. And then quick fix, after every kill, I instantly regenerate health. It is so good for surviving in gunfights. And then I do ammunition box, you know, so I can refill my Semtexes, my stuns. Maybe you're out of ammo, you can't find scav packs, you got that. Portable radar in those clutch situations, you're like, damn, I can't find an enemy. It's all good, throw that down, and you're chilling. And those are the top 5 best class setups that you should be using after the Season 5 update. Let me know in the comments which weapons you think I missed out on and should have been in this top 5. If you made it to the end, comment down below best class setups. I'll be liking hard in your guys' comments, and that's how I know you guys made it to the end of the video. I'll see y'all in the next upload, only if you guys are subscribed with all those notifications on, man. All right, you guys all stay safe, have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.